What's up YouTube? Nate the old school otaku here, and I've picked up a bunch more DVDs over the last couple of months, so if you want to see part 3 of my pickups while I was on hiatus, stay tuned! And welcome back. So those of you who have been following along with this current series of pickup videos should know that this is now volume 3, part 3 of my hiatus pickups. And for you today I've got 10 awesome DVDs that I picked up over the last couple of months. Primarily large amount of them coming from disc replay, from my trips to different disc replays and whatnot. And well, let's go ahead and get started here with what all I picked up. But then again, those of you who haven't been following along, or this is your first time, I encourage you to go ahead and hit volume 1 up here or volume 2 up here if you've missed those, to take a look at them first. You know, in volume 1 I talked about a bunch of Laserdiscs, and in volume 2 I talked about all of the Blu-rays that I picked up. And now we're moving on to the DVD portion of the of this lovely charade thing that we have going on here. So encourage you to hit one of those and see those first if you'd like. Otherwise, just stay tuned and keep going. I'll still be here. So let's get started. First up on the list is a fairly recent purchase from one of my recent trips to local disc replay down in Livonia. They seem to be the one that I wind up hitting more often because I'm in Livonia a lot. I'm in that general area a lot and whatnot, so I definitely hit that up pretty often. And what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about a show that I saw quite a long time ago, and well, I just love the fact that I now actually own a copy of it on DVD. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Yu Yu Hakusho, the movie Poltergeist Report. When I first saw this, it was just listed as Poltergeist Report. It wasn't. I don't even think Yu Yu Hakusho was anywhere in the title at all. And it definitely was not listed as Yu Yu Hakusho, the movie Poltergeist Report. It was just listed as Poltergeist Report. Of course, later on, you know, after this came out, and then the Yu Yu Hakusho anime actually came out. So this was definitely an interesting one to see. And there is another Yu Yu Hakusho movie. It actually comes on a combination set DVD with Ninku, if I remember correctly. So I mean, that should be somewhere around. Would be somewhere around here, easy to grab, but it's not. It's like over there somewhere. Either way, though, definitely a cool thing. And this is what kind of got me into Yu Yu Hakusho. And the funny thing is like this is based. This movie is actually based further way on in the storyline, and it introduces characters that, when watching the anime, I wasn't introduced to. So it was definitely interesting going back and watching the Yu Yu Hakusho anime to actually see these characters and how they met and things like that. So it was definitely kind of cool. But I mean, this movie is one that I enjoyed. It's 90 minutes, brought out by US Manga Core. It's labeled as a 16 and up. Show. Some of the information on the back here. You've seen the TV series on Cartoon Network. Now experience the movie. Well, yeah, I guess Cartoon Network did show Yu Yu Hakusho at one point in time, and I guess when this DVD came out, it had shown it, but when I first saw it, it was not on Cartoon Network. Plenty of martial arts action in this fast-paced adventure from Sci-Fi Teen. Game Fan says, enjoyable and entertaining. The info on the back here: restored to life by supernatural forces, high school delinquent Yusuke was granted paranormal fighting powers to protect humanity. Demons are poised to take over the earth, and Yusuke must lead a posse of mismatched superpowered warriors into battle against them. With spirit guns, swords, and old-fashioned martial arts, our heroes will use any means necessary to wipe out the demons. It's two-fisted fighting action at its best. And that's just like generic what Yu Yu Hakusho is. It's not even really going into the storyline of the of the movie itself, which I guess is okay. I really enjoyed this movie when I saw it, so if you happen to see this out in the wild, it's something to pick up. Even if you've never seen Yu Yu Hakusho before, I will say they don't really explain the characters a whole lot necessarily, but they do definitely get into some things, and it's definitely cool to see some of this. And honestly, I had no problem getting into it without ever seeing the anime, the original TV series first. So, this is definitely one to pick up and keep a watch out for. Yu Yu Hakusho, the movie, The Poltergeist Report. Okay, next up on the list is a set of DVDs that, I wasn't sure I was going to pick up, and then I finally decided to go ahead and do it. And I am talking about Ganketsuto, The Count of Monte Cristo. Now, what is this? Well, this is an anime that came out fairly recently. And by fairly recently, like within the last 10 years, if I'm remembering correctly. I think this came out sometime around 2006, 2007. It is a 24 episode TV show series, rated as TVMA, actually. This is brought out by Funimation. Gonzo did the work here, and basically what it is a retelling of the famous story, The Count of Monte Cristo. But for those of you who know the original story of Count of Monte Cristo, it's told, I believe, from the point of view of the Count, the actual original story and whatnot. This is told from the point of view of Albert, one of the characters in the storyline, and so it's a very interesting take on the story because you see it unfold from Albert's point of view versus anyone else's point of view. And so it's a very interesting take on it. Now, of course, they do the anime thing where it's now, it's tons of years in the future. They're out in space, not necessarily in just Paris and whatnot. And that's just kind of the way of the storyline. Anime News Network says, without a doubt, one of the finest anime series ever made. And, I mean, I can't necessarily discount them on that. It's a really, really good story. Really well done. Beautiful artwork. I mean, it's one of the first that I remember where a lot of the coloring that's done is through these wallpaper-looking things. So you kind of see like his hair looks like it's space, and when he's walking, like the space stays stays stationary, but his character moves. So it's kind of the art style that they have going on here. So you get to see some more of it there, and then of course you can see kind of some of it from the box art here. Kind of show you guys what I'm talking about, and it's really awesome. This box set here is a set of 4 DVDs that comes in these thin cases brought out by Funimation, and really, really awesome. You can see this in English and Japanese with English and Japanese subtitles. So definitely awesome. If you're into literature at all and whatnot, this is a really cool one to pick up. If you're into space stories and mecha and things like that, this is also a potential one to pick up. And if you just want to see a really awesome story, a really awesome story brought to life, this is a great one to pick up. The Count of Monte Cristo is a really good show. It was originally titled Gankutsuo, but oftentimes most of the U.S. stuff will actually list it as the Count of Monte Cristo. Give a look out. If you see it, pick it up. Really cool show. It was tons of fun. Tons of fun. To be honest, I actually have never seen or read The Count of Monte Cristo, the original story. And when I went and watched it, I didn't know anything about it. So it was really nice. And so I don't want to give away too much if you yourself haven't seen it. But it's definitely tons of fun. Okay. This next one up here is something that I haven't seen on shelves, actually. For a very, very, very long time, and it's awesome to finally see a copy of this out in the wild that I was able to pick up. And I am talking about Street Fighter II, the animated movie. This is a movie that came out back in the '90s. Was animated back in the time. So we see. It's actually got both the English and Japanese versions. So I've only seen the English version of this movie. And the English version is 99 minutes long. The Japanese version is 101 minutes long. So it's 2 minutes longer, the Japanese version. So this is released by manga. It is uncut, uncensored, and unleashed edition. So comes in this cool slipcover. And then you get to see all the characters on the cover here and in the back, basic information. It's listed in 5.1 surround, both English and Japanese versions. Original Japanese master with never-before-seen scenes. UK edition with never-before-seen scenes with and KMFDM soundtrack, interactive player cards, UK trailers, and motion menus. This was brought out by Manga Entertainment, which is known as a UK company. It's got audio is in 2.0 and 5.1 is available and whatnot. Let's see, in here it is a dual-sided DVD actually. So it's one of the special side A and side B. So side B is Japanese and side A is English editions. So that's definitely cool. Some interesting scratches on this disc that I didn't notice when I bought this to begin with. I should definitely test this puppy out, and if she doesn't play, get her resurfaced. Inside you've got a little special comic actually, which is kind of cool from this edition. And oh yeah, it's a comic showing the characters and whatnot with a few different things going on here, so that's kind of cool. Exclusive, never before seen Street Fighter comic book. You've got chapter selections and whatnot in here, and then a advertisement in here. So that's definitely cool. And there's only 8 chapters, which is kind of odd, but either way though, this is definitely a really interesting, cool movie. It's got a really neat storyline to it, and I think it's one of the better tales of Street Fighter. It's definitely fun and interesting. So if you like Street Fighter 2, this is one to take a look out for. It's definitely one of the better, if not best, anime I've seen that's been adapted from a fighting game. So definitely one to keep your eyes out for. Okay, moving on, we're going to get into something that's a little bit more on the adult side, I guess, and I am talking about Very Private Lesson. This is a AnimeWorks title, 80 minutes long. It's definitely an older anime show. It's listed as 16 and up, presented in English and Japanese with some subtitles. Some of the information on here, I've never actually seen this show, but some information, sugar, spice, and everything nice. That's not what Aya is made of. So on the back here, oh, those golden rule days. Oraku is a lucky man. He has a comfortable job teaching Satsuki, a fellow teacher whom he hopes to marry, and Aya, a beautiful student who has fallen in love with him. Aya loves nothing more than to come on to Oraku and lounge around his apartment in scant attire. Unfortunately, Aya's father happens to be a major crime boss, and he will have the hapless teacher slowly murdered if Aya doesn't remain pure. Now, not only must Oraku restrain himself, but also protect her from the hordes of men and women at school who'd love to get their hands on her body. Of course, if Satsuki or any of the other teachers discover Oraku's new living arrangements, he will be permanently dismissed from the teaching profession. Oraku is so very lucky. So yeah, that's kind of the storyline here for this interesting little animated feature. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I've kind of heard about this show from the grapevine. Can't really tell you if it's any good or not. Definitely probably a little bit more on the fan servicey side of things. But it definitely looked like it was an interesting show to pick up. Looks like the AnimeWorks version of this was brought out in 2001, so this definitely fits within the time period that I usually prefer to collect for, and definitely an interesting show to take a look for. So yeah, that is Very Private Lesson. Okay, moving on. We're getting into a show that I actually saw way back in the day while watching the free movie channels that we had available when I was growing up. We had this channel called Movieplex, which I guess wasn't really a free channel, but it was part of Encore, if I remember correctly. And they had a tendency to show anime from time to time. And one of the anime that I found through there was Tekkaman Blade 2. And so what is Tekkaman Blade 2? Well, it is a 3-hour-long set of shows. It's 6 30-minute episodes, a 6-episode OVA. Came out in 1994 originally, and then was released here in the U.S. in 2001 by Urban Vision. So what is Tekkaman Blade 2 about? Well, 10 years have passed since the original series, Technoman to fans of the US TV series, also known as Tekkaman Blade, and a new generation of Tekkaman must confront a powerful enemy while rebuilding their forces. So that's kind of the set. It's released in 3 stages, so 2 episodes per stage in here, and then yeah. So on the inside, it's got some interesting stuff. It actually comes with this Tekkaman Blade 2 sticker, which is still actually, for the most part, intact. I mean, it's a little busted, but not too bad here. And then you've got little inserts, notes on Aki's Tekkaman and whatnot. So you got a little bit of extra liner notes and things. The unique Lancer was made on Earth and folds in half. The Lancer has many features. The blades extend further than when unfolded, and there is an inlaid firing weapon with an easy trigger. Since Aki's hair is so long, it flows outside the Tekkaman armor. She also has a long protective jacket with the armor detailed underneath. Aki's Tekkaman has a very fluid look with her long hair, the long jacket, and a trailing skirt attached to the back of the armor. So I mean, that's kind of one of the big things is like the main character Aki, or at least one of the characters Aki, is a female who is piloting a Tekkaman suit. So yeah, definitely cool. If you were ever into Tekkaman Blade or Technoman, as it was released here in the U.S., this is definitely an interesting one to pick up. I kind of liked the storyline. I thought it was kind of neat. I don't remember a whole lot about it because it was quite some time ago when I first saw it, but it definitely was interesting. Ratings here, it's not really rated very much. Contains some mild violence, so it's probably fine for most people wanting to take a look. But definitely a really cool show. Tekkaman Blade 2. Okay, next up on the list is a show I recently picked up, once again, from one of my very recent trips over to Disc Replay, and it is called Judge. I'm going to be entirely honest with you guys here. I know like next to nothing about Judge. I saw it on the shelf, and it was just, this thing here. It just says Judge. I'm like, that seems like it might be an old show. So I picked it up. US Manga Corps. Okay, probably old and obscure, because US Manga Corps has a tendency to do a lot of old, obscure stuff. And I look at it, and the character designs and whatnot definitely looks like it's in my wheelhouse. So looking at here, so again, this is a US Manga Corps show. It's 50 minutes long. The original Japanese version came out in '91, and then Central Park Media came out with it in 1994, and then I guess there's a version from Manga Entertainment. So I guess Central Park Media licensed it in '94 with a subtitled version, and then Manga Entertainment licensed it in '93 and gave it a English dub. So this version here, which came from US Manga Corps, looks like it's got both English and Japanese on it. So let's look at it a little bit more and kind of see. Definitely looks like it's kind of violent. I see quite a bit of gore, maybe some sexual themes in this one as well. Let's see, unrated, contains brief nudity and adult situations. Horror occult thriller. So America said, get ready for a damned good courtroom battle unlike you've ever seen before. And Video Watchdog says, I suppose there is a bit of the judge in each of us. This production gives us one possible reflection of this inner personality. It is a dark and cruel image. So here's the information on the back. What goes around comes around, even from beyond the grave. Most criminals are only concerned with earthly justice, the laws of man. But there is another law. Deep within the spirit world, the wrongful dead seek retribution for the crimes committed against them by the living. These restless spirits have their own codes of justice, and they've chosen the judge of darkness to enforce them. An appeal for the justice leads to an investigation of a high-ranking corporate executive involved with the embezzlement and murder. But the Judge of Darkness soon discovers that the roots of corruption run deep as he slowly works his way up the corporate pyramid. Yet, even the damned have rights as judge and defense struggle over a single soul before the mighty 10 kings of hell. Whoever wins, you can be dead certain justice will prevail. So, yeah. I guess this came from the director of Burn Up W. Definitely seems like an interesting show. Can't really tell you how good it is, how bad it is, much really about it other than what I've read because I've not seen it. In fact, this version, I bought it and it hasn't even been removed from its original shrink wrapping. It does have a bit of a cutout here from the edge, which is something a lot of anime companies do when they have sellouts or whatnot, trying to get rid of product in order to make sure that it can't be returned or whatnot. But that looks like that's what happened here. But overall, definitely looks like an interesting show. And well, when I get around to actually watching it, we'll see if it's any good, and maybe we'll make a review about it. We'll see. Okay, that is all from my pickups from. My pickups from Disc Replay. So let's get into some of the new titles that I've gotten here. Okay, so first up, I purchased this during one of my trips to FYE, and I was looking around and looking at the shelves and whatnot, and I noticed this on the in the shelf, and for a pretty nice price. I mean, this was like $25. $25 from Right Stuff Nozumi Entertainment, Irresponsible Captain Tyler. The whole series, Irresponsible Captain Tyler, that is a full 26-episode TV series in one set of discs here. So this is definitely cool find. Tyler, I've not personally seen any Tyler, but a lot of my friends have watched Tyler, love Tyler. It's considered one of the great classics of the 90s. A lot of really cool AMVs have been set to Captain Tyler. So it's definitely a really cool, interesting show about characters out in space. Like I said, it is it is 26 episode series. Looks like this edition was released in 2013 is when this version was packaged. I don't have any other details, but I do believe this was a 90s anime, was released in the 90s, most likely. So the best science fiction comedy ever animated from Animerica. Justy Ueki Tyler had his life all planned out. Join the military, get a cushy desk job, and then retire with a big fat pension check. The perfect plan, until he wandered into a hostage situation and somehow managed to save an admiral. Now Tyler, a man who wouldn't know what discipline was if it bit him in the backside, has been made captain of the space cruiser Soyokaze. The crew of the rundown ship is the craziest ragtag team of misfits you're ever likely to see, and they're not too fond of their complacent new leader. But they had better learn to work together, because they're about to go head-to-head with the mighty Ralgon Empire. For better or for worse, the Earth's fate has been placed in the hands of a man who's either a total idiot or an absolute genius. So yeah, that's the irresponsible Captain Tyler. Definitely something that I've been looking forward to. I've been actually looking for this for quite some time. I've not ever had a chance to see it, and it's one I've been looking forward to actually watching at some point in time. A lot of my friends recommend this, so I assume it probably is pretty good. So if you happen to see it somewhere, it might be a good one to pick up. Potentially. And I'm going to look forward to actually popping it in and watching it with my lovely own eyeballs. Okay, next up is something that I've heard about for quite some time, have seen in a lot of interesting AMVs, but up until this point hadn't actually owned, but now do. And what is it? It is Amazing Nuts. So what is Amazing Nuts? Well, this show here was brought out by Discotech. It is a collection of stories. Studio 4C and Avex Entertainment have teamed up to bring you a musical roller coaster ride which will pop out of your TV and speakers. It is a 38-minute collection of shorts, basically. Presented in Japanese. There's no English dub here, just Japanese subs. And it's got Global Astroliner, Class I, Kung Fu Love, and Joe and Marilyn. So it's a collection of these 4 shorts up here. And so I can read you a little bit about each one. The Global Astroliner. Earth has become a prison for battling gangs, all kept in line under the hand of the glorious idol Rara. When Rara's influence becomes corrupted, a brave officer needs to descend from space and restore order, featuring music from M-Flow. So it seems like a lot of this has stories and whatnot. Not sure if there's any actual spoken dialogue. I haven't had a chance to pop this open and watch it yet. I'm looking forward to doing so soon. But definitely looks like it's got some music in here. So, Glass Eye. A couple are given the chance to recreate their surroundings through the Godchild Particle Research Project. Can they overcome their internal issues and instabilities and find happiness in each other and a new world? Featuring music from Ram Rider. Kung Fu Love. This is actually the anime Kung Fu Love. This section actually was used in a number of AMVs, and one AMV was released to Youmacon over the last couple of years, and it actually spawned the award title of David Carradine's Night Out. So definitely an interesting title. Hanako has left behind her kung fu fighting past for love, only to be dumped when an international governing body secedes or selects her at random to be humanity's combined enemy. As the entire world literally turns against her, Hanako is fighting to stay alive and maybe, just maybe, win back her lost love, featuring music from Kumi Koda. And then finally, Joe and Marilyn. A return to gangland as love and war break out in a nightclub featuring a sultry singer. featuring music by Mink, blending a variety of animation techniques from traditional 2D to CG and rotoscoping. Amazing Nuts explodes with the creativity which put Studio 4C on the map. So yeah, that is Amazing Nuts. A lot of people I know really love this. I've been looking forward to picking up a copy of this for a long time, and now I own it, and I can't wait to pop it in and watch. I mean, it's only 38 minutes long, so if you happen to see it around, definitely one to look out for. Okay, next up is another feature very similar to Amazing Nuts, and that is the epic Robot Carnival. What is Robot Carnival? Well, Robot Carnival is a collection of short films, animated shorts, by a number of different directors and animation styles. But all of it centers around the story, this idea of robots, basically. So it's 9 animators, 1 vision, a collection of art, animation, and robots. This is released in Japanese and English audio. It does come with English subtitles. This is produced by Discotek Media. Was recently released here within the last, I think within the last couple of months, if not within the last year. It is 91 minutes long. And it's a collection of 9 different shorts. Some really cool AMVs have been put to this, some really awesome storylines. Not a lot of spoken dialogue in all of these. It's a lot of music and ambient sounds and whatnot, and telling stories through the action and whatnot happening in the setup, in the animation. So it's definitely really cool. To kind of read you a little of the information back here. Crawling across a desiccated landscape, the Robot Carnival comes barreling its way onto DVD for the first time in North America. A visual treat for the eyes as well as the mind, Robot Carnival is an anthology collection of 9 short films, many done by animators before they got their feet wet in directing. From funny to dramatic, artistic to entertaining, each story reaches towards the furthest corners of time and space to bring you a tale of robots and the people who make them. Whether you have a love for great hand-drawn animation, an appreciation for fine storytelling, or just like robots, this anthology is a must. And I can't agree more with that. This is a really cool show, really cool story. It's got some very funny things within it. Some of the sections are pretty funny. Like A Tale of Two Robots is hilarious. It's a fight between 2 robots in old feudal Japan. Whatnot. You've got Franken's Gears, which is an interesting Frankenstein-like story. Deprive, which is the story of someone trying to get someone else back. Preserve or Presence. Presence. I'm trying to remember which one Presence was. Presence is a story about a guy who makes robots and whatnot. It's deep. To put it lightly. Starlight Angel is a fun little musical tale about a girl in a theme park dedicated to robots. Cloud is a beautifully drawn and animated depiction of this robotic character moving along a landscape of clouds and whatnot. It's beautiful. Nightmare is an interesting story kind of based off of the story of Ichabod Crane. So that's definitely one there. And then, of course, there's the opening and ending with Robot Carnival itself. So yeah, that is Robot Carnival. Really cool, really awesome. I recommend you pick it up if you have not seen it before. Awesome show. I can't recommend it enough. Okay, and finally, last but not least, another show that when I found out it got picked up by Discotek, I had to buy its version, despite the fact that I already own it in a bunch of other titles. And I'm sure I've talked about it. I'm pretty sure this was on my top 25 anime of all time list. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Iria Zerum, the animation, the Master Collection. So yeah, I mean, Iria is the story of Iria, who is a bounty hunter in training, who basically goes on a trip with her brother, who is a bounty hunter, and basically gets wrapped into this massive plot that's dealing with this immortal alien creature called Zerum, and she basically has to battle him. It is a 6-episode OVA, basically six 30-minute episode OVAs. This version is on 2 discs. Discotek has the Japanese and English versions of it, with full subtitles and whatnot. Definitely a really cool show. If you want to know more information about it, I've talked about it in other episodes, so feel free to check those out to see it. I love the fact that Discotek brought this out, and I had to actually own it. It is based off of a set of two movies. There were live-action movies that were called Zerum, actually, which is why this is called Iria Zerum, the animation. So definitely a really cool show. I first saw this on Sci-Fi back when their anime days and whatnot. I loved it. Really cool artwork. It came out back in the 90s. This was brought out by Bandai and whatnot back in 94. And yeah, really cool show. Awesome. I suggest you pick it up if you have the chance. Iria Zerum, the animation. And it's freely available now by the new Discotek edition. So there you go. And that is it. So again, I've got to thank you guys for sticking with me up to this point as we finished round 3. I've still got, looks like 3 more stacks to go through, so look forward to seeing those episodes coming up here very shortly. This is your first time tuning in. I want to thank you for listening to me so far, and if you like the stuff that you've seen and want to see more content, I suggest you take a look at one of these 2 videos I've got linked up here. In order to see some of the other stuff, go back and see one of the other videos in this specific series of releases that I've got going on. And if you do like the stuff, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It'll put you front row and center whenever I release something new, as it will be in your feed. And I request that you go ahead and hit Patreon in order to become a patron of mine. All the money you give me through that will go right back into this channel, not to buy cool stuff, but to buy all the tech and things that make this video. And either way though, guys, thank you guys for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you next time. This is Nate, the Old School Otaku, signing off. And welcome back. So, for those of you who've been following along with this series up to this point, we are now on part 3 of my pickups while I was on hiatus. And today I've got a bunch of Blu-rays to... Blu-rays? That was last week, you numbnuts.